So my story, my journey to a revolution, begins in 2011, shortly after I get out of the Army, and I begin working as an English teacher in Holyoke Public Schools. For 2 years, I noticed some really bad trends happening within my school district, and on a much broader spectrum, happening all across the country. The trends I was noticing were teachers crying and students in misery. Why is this important? For 2 years, I witnessed the reduction of a student to a test score. I witnessed what the school was doing to these students, treating them like nothing but a number. And one day, in my third year at Holyoke Public Schools, I saw something in the hallway that really triggered a response from me, and it was a data wall. If you're not familiar with data walls, we're talking about a public display of student scores. Basically, it amounts to their self-worth displayed on a wall for everybody to see. You have a green column right at the top, or a green row right at the top. You have a yellow row in the middle, and a red row at the bottom. Green meaning good, yellow meaning okay, red meaning bad. And as you can guess, many of my students were in the red row. What this did to their self-esteem is something I could not tolerate. So on February 3rd, 2014, I woke up that morning, and I said to myself, you're probably going to get fired. On February 3rd, 2014 was the first time that I publicly spoke out against data walls and against high-stakes testing and against the abuse of children. I can't call it anything else but abuse. Child abuse is what it was. And so I attended a school committee meeting, and I told this in public to the school committee, to the superintendent, and anybody else who would listen. I told them data walls were wrong. I told them there's a reason why we got rid of the Gold Star system, because we did not like, as educators, the idea of diminishing a child's self-worth, a child's self-confidence, to measure a child by something so standardized as a high-stakes test. And that was in February. In June of 2014, as you can imagine, I was fired. You know, the thing they don't tell you about getting fired is the effect it has on you. The depression, the anxiety, the self-doubt it fills you with. You know, you start to ask yourself a lot of questions, and it's really difficult. You have a lot of people counting on you, and you're wondering if you getting fired was worth the cost, if it's worth the cost to your family. And for me, for a while, I was just under the impression this is what I got to do, and I did so. And for 6 months, I was fighting tooth and nail to get my job back. It was a difficult fight, but on November 24th, I walked into a building for the first time since I was fired. I got my job back. That day should have been a glorious day. It should have been a happy day for me. But I'd like to tell you what happened on November 24th. I walked into a new building, an unfamiliar building, and the self-doubt really started eating away at me. I started questioning everything. Was this worth losing some of my friends? Was this worth all the time I've lost with my family? Was this worth all the stress and all the money? Was it worth any of it? Are my students going to like me? Are the teachers going to like me? Am I even a good teacher? Why am I even up here? Why am I doing any of this? Is this fight going to kill me? And I sit at my new desk in a new school, waiting for new students, and the self-doubt is eating away at me. And in this moment of despair, in this moment where I'm wondering my own self-worth, it all becomes clear to me. And in this moment of absolute clarity, I realize one of the most important things in my life, that I don't matter, that I am not special. It is not about me. It never was and it never will be about me. It's about the students. It's about the disenfranchised, the voiceless, the defenseless. And I remembered why I do what I do. It's not to get money. Anybody who knows a teacher knows they don't make a lot of money. And it's not for fame. This is not what I wanted for my life. It's for the kids. I have 9 nieces. I'm doing it for them too. I don't have children yet, but when I do have children, I want them to have a really good public education system, and that's what I'm fighting for. So in that moment of clarity and remembering what I was fighting for, I felt happy again. I was where I was supposed to be, and I met my students that day, and it was the best feeling in the world. If you've never been in front of people, if you've never taught, if you've never been in a classroom, it's an amazing experience. And so we come full circle to the whole point of this presentation today, the Educratic oath, do no harm. If it sounds familiar to you, it should. It's because I borrowed heavily from the Hippocratic oath, the same oath that doctors take that they will do no harm to their students. that they are the first line of defense for health, where teachers in this country have to take an oath of the same quality and the same caliber, that we will do no harm, that we will not participate in harmful practices for our students, that anything that is developmentally inappropriate, we will not participate in. We won't participate in high-stakes tests because we know them to be unreasonable. We won't participate in Common Core because we know it to be unreasonable. We know these things as educators. We spend our life learning our craft and building our pedagogy, and it's not to give a test. It's to foster a new generation and to be that first line of defense for children. And as we saw in Newton, sometimes being the first line of defense for those kids may cost your life. A teacher lost her life that day because she was the first line of defense for the students. And in that same regard, we as teachers and as society have to be a first line of defense for students. And that's what I'm here for today. I want every single teacher across this country to take an oath and say that I will do no harm. It's not going to fix everything, but we got to start somewhere. Thank you.